my yarny friends, I'm Sara Sach, and welcome back to my crochet channel. Today's video, I'm going to show you how to crochet the Sensational Summer Wrap. Now this wrap is designed so that you can wear it with, say, a sundress or a tank top, or even wrap it around your waist and use it as a bathing suit cover. It measures approximately 15 inches long and it's about 42 inches wide, but it's super easy to adjust that. If you need it longer, you're just going to add more rows because it's a basic 1-row repeat. It has a nice little bottom trim, and then we added this fun fringe on both the ends. And of course, the fringe is optional if you're not really into fringe. I think it makes this wrap super sensational. We did design this summer wrap using a light number 3 weight yarn. And we'll talk more about the yarn I used in just a second. You can find the complete pattern with pictures on my blog, and as always, I'll put that blog link down in the notes underneath this video. The yarn that we use to design our Sensational Summer Wrap is Premier Hipster Cotton. It is a light 3. And the color that we used is this one. It's called Summer Splash. This one is also a real pretty one. It is called Hello Hydrangea. And I have something else I'm going to do with this one. And this is what the yarn looks like before it's made into the wrap. You've got some teals and some bright shades of green and some white. And of course, a couple shades of the lavender orchid. It's absolutely gorgeous. And I love it on this wrap. I know. Again, I'm probably going to keep this for myself. We're going to be stitching today. You need to know how much you need. You're going to need 2 balls. Each ball or skein has 3.5 ounces or 229 yards. And you're going to need 2 to complete your project. And it takes that much because of all the fringe. If you're going to leave the fringe off, it takes about 1.5. Okay? Wanted to make sure we got that before we went any farther. We're going to be stitching with an eye hook, which is a 5.5. And I know we don't normally use an eye hook for a light 3, but we want it to be loose and open and almost have a lacy feel so that it's comfortable to wear in the summer. So we're using that eye hook, which is a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. You need a needle just for weaving in ends, and you're going to need a pair of scissors. Now you're also going to need your tape measure just to measure your fringe, all right? It's also a good idea to measure your project as you go, because again, we all have different tension, and if you want to make it long enough for you, maybe you have longer arms or you're taller and you want your wrap to be longer, you can add more rows. Just remember to measure as you go. All right, let's get started. We're going to begin with our slip knot, and we're going to loosely chain 45 chains. You want that beginning chain to be loose because if it's too tight, the one side of your wrap will look a little bit puckered up, okay? So you want to loosen up your tension a little bit and chain 45 chains. I have loosely chained 45 chains, and we're going to begin by stitching 1 double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. We don't count the loop on our hook. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yarn over, go in, pull up a loop, yarn over, go through the first 2, yarn over, and go through the second 2. And now what we're going to do is we're going to place 1 double crochet in each of the chains across. 1 double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook, and then 1 double crochet in each of our chains, working all the way across. I have completed my row of double crochets. Our chain 3 here at the beginning counts as 1 double crochet, and then we stitched in the 4th and 1 in each across, so you're going to have 43 double crochets. We're going to chain 3, and this double crochet counts as our first double crochet on our next row. And now we're going to double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And since this chain 3 counts as our first, that gives us 3 double crochets. Now we're going to chain 1. We're going to skip the next stitch and then stitch 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. Chain 1, skip 1, and double crochet in the next 2 stitches. And chain 1. And we'll repeat this, working all the way across until we reach those last 3 double crochet stitches at the end of our row. I was going to say of our end of our row, and that didn't make any sense. Alrighty, so chain 1, skip 1, double crochet in the next 2 stitches, and repeat all the way across until we reach those last 3 double crochet stitches. We started with those 3 double crochets because again our chain 3 counted as our first. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet in the next 2, and repeat all the way across until we reach those last 3 stitches. So here's our chain 1, and there's our skipped stitch, and then we have 3 double crochets left. So we're going to double crochet in those last 3 stitches. And that chain 3 where we began is our last double crochet. Throughout this project, the chain 3 counts as a double crochet. All right, so let's chain 3 and let's take a look at it. So we have 3 double crochets at the beginning and end, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 of our 2 double crochets with our chain 1s all in between. Now, if you added width, because you certainly can if you want it to be, it's actually going to make it longer because we're stitching it this way. This is the side, and we're going to stitch our rows back and forth and make it the width of it this way. All right, let's do row 3. So we've chained 3, we're going to turn our work, we're going to double crochet in these next 2 double crochets, and that will give us 3 double crochets at the beginning of our row. Chain 1. Now we're going to double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And chain 1. So we're going to be skipping all the chain 1s and double crocheting in all the double crochets. All right, so we have 1 double crochet in the next 2, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and then 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. There we go. My yarn's getting in the way there. And this is our repeat across for row 3. See, we are chain 1ing and skipping the chain 1. And then we are stitching a double crochet in the 2 double crochets. Chain 1, skip the chain 1, 2 double crochets. Chain 1, skip the chain 1, and 2 double crochets. And we'll repeat this all the way across again until we reach those last 3 double crochet stitches, and then we'll stitch a double crochet in those 3 stitches. So this is how your wrap should look after your third row. Row 3 should look pretty much the same as row 2. We have those 3 double crochets, chain 1, 1 double crochet in the next 2, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and repeat all the way across. And then at the end, we chained 1, stitched 1 double crochet in the last 3, and chained 3 just like we did on row 2. All right, so let's do row 4. We've chained 3. We're going to turn our work. We're again going to stitch a double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And again, that gives us 3 double crochets at the beginning of our row because our chain 3 counts as our first. Chain 1, 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And I think you can see how the pattern for this wrap is going to work. It's a nice simple pattern, but it makes a really pretty wrap. And so what we're going to do is we're going to continue to repeat across just like we did on row 3, 1 double crochet in the next 2, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, and repeat all the way across until we reach those last 3 double crochets. Then we'll double crochet in those last 3. So I have completed row 4. We started with the chain 3 and 2 double crochets, chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, 1 double crochet in the next 2, and repeated that all the way across. Chain 1, skip 1, 1 double crochet in the last 3, and then chain 3, just like we did on row 3. All right, so let's turn our work, double crochet in the next 2, chain 1, and again 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And I think by now you're starting to see how the pattern is going to work. This is a 1 row repeat, and you'll repeat it for the length that you need. There we go. All right, and so what you're going to do for row 5 is you're just going to repeat what you did on row 4. Chain 3 counts as your first double crochet in the next 2, so there's 3. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets. And then you'll repeat that across again till you reach those last 3, and then 1 double crochet in the last 3 and chain 3. So basically, row 5 is just a repeat of row 4. I have completed row 5, and it's a repeat of row 3 and row 4. We have our chain 3 that counts as our first double crochet and 2 more double crochets. Chain 1, skip the chain 1 space, 1 double crochet in the next 2 double crochets, and repeat all the way across till we reach those last 3. Chain 1 and 1 double crochet in the last 3 double crochets. And so now you can see that it's just a basic 1 row repeat. It's a very easy row, and it's something you can take along with you if you want to, say you're going on vacation and you want a shoulder wrap or even a waist wrap. Take your yarn with you, work on it, and you'll probably be done with it by the time you get there. So what you're going to do is you're going to continue to repeat row 4 for 81 more rows. And that 81 more rows is going to get you a wrap that's approximately 42 inches wide. Because remember, we're stitching our rows up and down, but the width of our wrap is going to go this way. All right, so repeat row 4 for an additional 81 more rows. So here is my actual wrap that I have done, And you can see how the width is made by adding all the rows. And again, if you want it to be even wider across, add more rows. All right, so we need to have a total of 86 rows at this point. And then we're going to add a row of solid double crochet like this. So when your wrap is the width that you want it, we're going to do a solid row of double crochet like I showed you. And so what you'll do is we've chained 3, so that chain 3 counts as our first double crochet. We'll double crochet in the next 2 like we have been doing. And then we'll double crochet in that chain 1 space. Then we'll double crochet in those 2 double crochets. And double crochet in the chain 1 space. And this is going to give us a solid row of double crochet on the other end of our wrap. And these ends is where we'll place that fringe. So basically we're stitching 1 double crochet in each of the stitches across, all the double crochet stitches and the chain 1 spaces. And I realize this is just a swatch of work, but you're going to have a row of double crochet on both ends of your wrap like I showed you earlier. So I stitched that whole row of double crochet on my swatch, stitching a double crochet in each double crochet and in each of the chain 1 spaces. All right. So the next thing we're going to do is this trim. And the trim is only on the bottom of our wrap, not on the top. Okay. So we're going to go down and then we're going to come back up that edge. Now I only have a small swatch on here, and so I'll show you how that's going to be done. You'll turn your work to the side. Now of course your wrap will be a whole lot longer. You'll chain 1. So we're going to place a single crochet right in the side of that stitch. Now we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to skip the next 2 rows. So here's the first row, here's the second row, and then we're going to place a single crochet right in the side of that second row. And then you'll 1, 2, 3, 4. Skip the next 2 rows and place a single crochet in the side of that second row. See how that works? And we'll do this all the way down the side of our wrap. All right, so once you've gone all the way down, stitching those single crochets, skip 2 rows, single and chain 4, single crochet, chain 4, skip 2 rows. So you have these nice little loop sections. You'll do that all the way to the corner of the wrap. Here's my last single crochet. And you'll have all these loops that we're going to turn and stitch in. So what you'll do is you've chained 1 and turn, and we're going to go in this first chain 4 loop. We're going to stitch a double crochet, another double crochet, and then we're going to stitch what's called a picot stitch. So we're going to chain 3. We're going to slip stitch in the top of that double crochet, and then double crochet in that same chain 4 loop, and then chain 1. All right. Now we'll go to the next chain 4 loop and stitch a single crochet. Then we'll chain 1 and go to the next chain 4 loop and stitch a double crochet, then another double crochet, that picot stitch, chain 3, slip stitch in the top of the double crochet, and then double crochet in that same chain 4 loop and chain 1. All right, and that's the way that this row will work. And let me show you on the actual shawl. So here is my actual wrap, and you can see this trim. We've got our chain 1, double crochet, picot, and double crochet, then chain 1, and then we go to the next chain 4 loop and stitch a single crochet. Then we stitch a chain 1, double crochet, picot stitch, double crochet, chain 1, then you go to the next chain 4 loop and stitch a single crochet. And that's the repeat all the way across, and that's the bottom edge of our wrap. All right, and you'll do that all the way across and then just join to that first single crochet. And that gives you just a beautiful edge. Let me turn it, because that's the bottom edge of our wrap. It's just a simple edge that adds a really pretty touch to it. Now we do not do this on the top. The top edge is just left as it is. Those 3 double crochets make a nice trim for the top edge. So once you've completed your beautiful trim, your wrap shawl or summer wrap is pretty much completed. But if you want to add that fringe on the bottom edge, it's really, really simple. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I think it's a lovely touch. So if you want the fringe, you're going to need to cut approximately 86 strands that are 16 inches long. You need 86 because you have 43 double crochets on each end. All right, and so what you'll do is you'll just measure out 16. Oops. There's one. What I do is I measure one out and then I use that as my guide. All right, and then I'll take this and just go like this. I'll wrap it so it's a little bit longer like this. I think it makes it a lot easier than trying to measure each one out. And I'll keep doing this until I have the number that I need. And then I'll cut all those loops. And then I'll have the number that I need. Now this is going to get you about an 8-inch piece of fringe because you're going to add it on like this. All right, it's really simple. I'm going to show you on this demo here. You're just going to take one of your strands of yarn and your crochet hook. You're going to put one at each double crochet, loop it on your hook, pull it through, and loop. Now, this is the way it should look on the front. You want your little bar to come across there. I'm going to bring this in so you can see what I'm talking about. See how it has the little line there where we looped it over? You want that on the front of your wrap shawl. All right, so I'm going to turn this over, and I realize I need to weave this end in. So I'll move that out of the way. We'll just grab the next one, line it up, go in the next double crochet, put the loop over our hook, pull it through, and then pull the strands through. And you'll add one to every single double crochet across your row. And you'll do this on both ends of your wrap shawl. It's really not a shawl. I'm just calling it a wrap. It's a nice, lightweight wrap for summer. Okay, so there I've got 4 on there. Let's move that one out of the way. Let's turn it over so you can see what it looks like on the front. See how it has those bars across there? That's where that loop is that's going to hold that fringe on. Once you get it all on, you can trim it if you want to. I don't always trim it. I kind of like it kind of crazy and random. But that's how you add your fringe to both ends of your wrap. This is our Sensational Summer Wrap. It's a very easy pattern with a 1-row repeat. It makes a lovely pattern. It drapes nicely. We have this simple trim on the bottom. We have the fringe on the sides, and it's super comfy to wear. You can wear it across your shoulders when you're wearing a sundress or a tank top. You can wear it around your waist to cover your bathing suit bottom. It has lots of fun ways to use it and to wear it, and it's a great accessory to take with you on your summer